Yesterday we had session on guidance, counseling and mentoring, concept and significance, role of mentor and mentees in an institute. There are some important things which I thought later on, which has left out in the significance and concept of mentorship. We will try to cover those things little quickly today, and then we will take up the topic on ethics and values. Yes? Okay. They are very inspiring. They are very, very related to the whole process of mentoring, counseling, and also ethics and values. As I mentioned yesterday, ethics and values, for that matter, all the attitudinal changes you want to bring in your students, we have to play a role model for that. And yesterday morning, we had a poem. Yes, I am a teacher. Yes, and I am the foundation. Yes, and this poem, this video is very close to that, but then you will really enjoy this video. Okay, this is just to supplement what we covered yesterday in the poem. Yes, again.
I think the captain is the most important.
I think Dr. Amit Sharma.
Maybe the judge.
He stays at the border all the time so that we can spend time with our family. He makes sure our safety is his first priority.
She's upholding the Constitution of India. It's a very, very big thing. इतने crimes हो रहे हैं. Such a difficult job, ना? Justice देना.
जैसे कोविड सिचुएशन में सब लोग डरे हुए थे. Everyone was locked up in the house. But doctors and the entire medical fraternity was right there. They were trying to save us.
I think Smita ji.
Maybe her?
She's the one.
बाकी सबका तो मतलब मुझे पता ना कि ये डॉक्टर हैं, जज हैं, बट ये मैम क्या करती हैं, I don't know.
क्योंकि उनके के नाम के आगे कोई टाइटल नहीं है एंड ऑनेस्टली आई डोंट रियली नो व्हाट हु शी इज एंड व्हाट शी डज.
मेरा नाम स्मिता पटेल है. मैं एक स्कूल टीचर हूँ और ये तीनों मेरे स्टूडेंट्स हैं.
I'm so sorry, ma'am.
नहीं आई मीन मुझे लगता है कि ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है एक्चुअली.
टीचर्स नहीं होंगी तो फिर कोई कुछ बन ही नहीं सकता. It is a very selfless job.
It's a noble profession or they are creating geniuses.
But she's kind of shaping the future for the country. Yes, मुझे लगता है कि हर एक टीचर को उनका टाइटल मिलना चाहिए. इट्स रियली इम्पोर्टेंट.
And a big round of applause to all of you. You are all teachers and you are making the nation. Never underestimate, and our role, as I mentioned yesterday, also I am mentioning it again and again, that our role goes beyond. We do not know who is going to be the chief of the army tomorrow, who will be going to be the minister, who is going to be the judge, who is going to be the best engineer. We do not know. The primary school teachers, आप लोग जो करा रहे हैं colleges में, professional colleges में, your role goes really much more beyond what you think you are doing, in fact. Another video. This video is one of my very, very favorite one. We often feel boggled down by our negativities. Yes. And I find this video to be very, very positive. I wanted to share this video on my session during the positive thinking also. But then I think today morning we start the things with this video again. This video is about a woman. She's from Pakistan. And जो अभी नेक्स्ट सेशन है हमारा, दैट इज मोटिवेटिंग सेल्फ एंड others. This will set a base for it. You know how you can motivate yourself in spite of all the negativities, of the hurdles, all the challenges which we face in our life. And as a teacher, as a mentor, we can do certain things also to come out of those challenges. This is a very beautiful video again.
Behind every inspirational picture, there is an untold story of constant pain, persistent effort, and determination. There are some people in the world who fight an unseen battle within themselves 24/7 with a big smile on their face. They never cry, they never crip, they never whine. I call such people warriors because these people know the art of living life, and they're way better than those people who just exist in the world. 6.5 years back, I met a car accident. I was traveling from Balochistan to my hometown, Rahimia Khan. The driver slept, and the car fell in the ditch. As a result of that incident, I sustained multiple injuries. The list is a bit long, don't get scared. Radius ulna of right arm were fractured. Shoulder bone and collarbone were fractured. Lungs and liver were badly injured. The whole rib cage was fractured. But the injury that changed my life and my personality completely was the spinal cord injury. 3 vertebrae of my backbone were completely crushed. It took us an hour or so to find an ambulance in Balochistan. All the effort went in vain because we couldn't find an ambulance. So I was thrown in the back of a Potohar Jeep, and I was rushed to the nearby hospital. In that Jeep, I realized that half of the body was fractured and half was paralyzed. We were rushed to the nearby hospital. There we came to know there was no first aid. I was kicked out. Then I went to another hospital in my hometown where doctors said, "Take her away, we cannot operate her." And I was like, "Why?" And they were like, "We don't have equipment, you will die someday, you go." I was kicked out again. But I finally ended up in a comparatively better hospital in Karachi. Luckily, I wasn't kicked out. Probably that's why I'm alive. So I stayed in that hospital for 2.5 months. I underwent 3 major, 2 minor surgeries. The doctors have put a lot of metal in my arm, a lot of metal in my backbone. So I feel more like an iron lady now. But those 2.5 months that I spent in the hospital were dreadful. I was in severe pain, both physically and psychologically. Many people left. Very close ones. The ones who were supposed to stay with me were the ones who left me when I needed them the most. I was devastated. Life was completely pointless, aimless, colorless. I was tired of wearing the white scrubs, looking at the white walls, doing nothing, sitting idle. I really didn't want to live. But then I realized that instead of crying for the people who were not meant to be with me, and for the legs which I have lost, I have people around me who want to see me alive. I have so much to be grateful for. So let's stop cribbing, stop whining, because it's pointless. The best decision that I took in my entire life was the painting that I made in the hospital with a deformed hand. That's how I added colors in my colorless life. That's how this adversity helped me in exploring an artist in me. That's how this art kept me alive through this whole journey. Then I was moved to Islamabad. I stayed in my room on the bed, confined for 2 years. Developed multiple pressure ulcers and a variety of infections and allergies. Now, this whole traumatic journey of 2 years and 2.5 months being bedridden, doing nothing, the only thing that kept me alive was art. What a beautiful medium art is, that without uttering a single word, you express yourself. What a beautiful escape it was. But the day I sat on the wheelchair for the first time, I was a completely different person. I still remember that I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, "You cannot wait for a miracle to come and make you walk. You cannot wait for the stem cell treatment because it's very expensive. You cannot wait and sit in the corner of the room crying and begging for mercy because people don't have time." So the only thing that I could do was to accept myself the way I was. The sooner, the better. That's what I did. I really wanted to make myself financially strong. Let's become professional. I started to find some jobs. A very good friend of mine, Fine Day, updated a status on Facebook saying we want content writers. And like a cribber, I commented, "I wish I could." I was called for that interview, and I was hired as one of the content writers for Pakistan's first official websites, heartofasia.pk. Samantha Siri Late was the CEO. That's how I started my professional career. So I was becoming financially strong, stable. Content writing was good. I was constantly exhibiting my work in different galleries. I was flourishing as an artist. Life was easy, but I wasn't happy. I was not contented because I was constantly aiming high. I was thinking big. I didn't know how I'm going to do, but I knew that I wanted to do something big for people, for the country. One day, I came across this polio campaign advertisement in which this little boy from a very underprivileged family is sitting on a wheelchair, and with his father sitting with him, crying and saying to the world in that campaign that give polio drops to your kids, otherwise they'll become like him. That advertisement shook me from inside. I feel devastated. The way that boy was objectified as an emblem of grief, misery, mercy, lifelessness, nothingness. Such a wrong picture which was being portrayed in media about the persons with disabilities. That's what we are called. That was the day when I decided that I have to change the perception of the people about being on wheelchair. Because being on wheelchair, you can still face the world with a big smile on your face, and you can tell the world that you're happy the way you are. No one has right to objectify us as an emblem of misery or mercy. We are human beings. We breathe. We have souls. We are alive. We feel. We don't need your sympathies. We don't need your empathies. Let us live. No one has right to diss our abilities. We are capable enough to breathe and to live each and every moment of our lives. I recently did a modeling campaign for Toni & Guy, and that makes me Pakistan's first wheelchair-bound model. I'm brand ambassador of the Body Shop Pakistan, and I'm one of the very lucky Pond's Miracle women. It's always good to know that there are very few wheelchair-bound artists in the world, and I'm proud to be one, being a Pakistani, trying to preserve the ethnic jewels of the country in the paintings adorned by very graceful, strong, and powerful Pakistani women, which I paint. Very soon, I'm going to be Pakistan's first wheelchair-bound TV host. And I'm blessed to have a beautiful 3-year-old son, which, he was here, but he was so cranky. Now, you all must be thinking that why I'm using the word wheelchair over and over again in my talk. This is the very perspective I'm talking about. This wheelchair is not my weakness. This wheelchair is not an adversity. This is my strength, because the kind of attention that I get when I go anywhere is priceless. Everyone loves to be in the limelight. I have started enjoying to be in the limelight too. This is the very perspective I'm talking about. This wheelchair has given me an opportunity to explore what I had in me, and I never knew it. I feel really sorry for some people who play this blame game. They say they feel caged. They cannot perform well, they cannot excel because system is not allowing them to do. The government, Pakistan, the whole world, society, economy is not letting them grow as a person. They're not excelling in their careers. They say they're caged. I feel sorry. I can undoubtedly say that I'm caged because when I get up in the morning, I'm unable to sit on my own. I'm unable to shift from the bed to the wheelchair, from the wheelchair to the car, from the car to the wheelchair. I need an assistant 24/7 to do little things in life. Let's make it more simple. When I feel thirsty at midnight, and when I forget, which I always do, when I forget to keep my water bottle on my nightstand, and when I don't see anyone around to help me, I stay thirsty for the whole night because I'm unable to get a glass of water for myself. I can undoubtedly say that I'm caged by my body, but my mind is free, and so is my soul, and so is my spirit. I can still dream big. I can still think big. I can still aim high. I can still aspire to inspire. Nothing should stop me. This wheelchair should not be the reason or an excuse of not doing anything in life. I still have big dreams. I still have big plans. And I still have to work on that. Be grateful for what you have. And trust me, you will always end up having more. And if you'll cry and if you'll crib for the little things in your life, you will never ever have enough. You want to excel? You want to grow? Do you want to be powerful and passionate and great professionals? Learn the art of converting your adversities into opportunities. The moment you're going to learn it, sky's the limit. So be grateful, be happy, be alive, and don't let anyone diss your abilities. Thank you. Thank you.
Isn't it so beautiful? I mean, we can sometimes, I know I am falling short of the time in the session because I have certain things to cover from the yesterday, and ethics and values, as I told you yesterday, is one of my very, very favorite topic. I gave 1 week program only on the ethics and values, 1 week complete program. But then I still stole 20 minutes time, 15 to 20 minutes time to show you this video. In our classrooms, nobody stops us if we take our students to some studio or what any conference hall or anywhere where you have the audio video aids and show them this kind of self-motivating and inspiring videos. I deliberately chose this video because this is from number one, Pakistan. Number two, she is a woman. In Pakistan, many of us have a concept that women are not having that kind of freedom, in Muslim countries because of the culture and because of the things. I deliberately chose this video for all of you. And I often show this video in some of the sessions also. And tomorrow, remind me if I forget, on a positive, we have a session on positive attitude also in this program. I'll show you one video. This is very, very important. We learned from the story, from the video, certain things. Whenever more faculties of the human being are involved, those things remain with us all our lives. Yes, stories, videos, they remain with us all our lives. Now, friends, before we go further, let me share with you some of the things which are very, very important about mentoring and counseling. There are so many things actually. So I will be covering some of the things which were not covered and everything cannot be covered in 1 hour or so, 1.5 hours. This is a problem with me. We will try to have some myths about mentoring and counseling, and we will try to understand what counseling is not, certain myths about mentoring. We have a myth that mentoring is like this, but it is not like this, or it is not like this, but it is actually like this. We will discuss those things. What counseling is not. This slide is saying what counseling is not. It is not advice giving, nor is it dictating to the others. It is not advice. If you remember yesterday's sessions, during my session, and especially when Dr. Shilpa mentioned, ये कोई पूड़ी नहीं है. पूड़ी समझते हैं आप? You know, when you go to a doctor, वो आपको एक खुराक दे देता है. I mean, he gives you a dose, you just put it inside, and your fever will go. You will have this. You know, guiding and counseling is not like that you give advice and it is done like that. And if you remember the first slide I showed you about the purpose of the education, everything is already inside. We just need to slowly make him or her realize that this is the solution, which you are capable of doing that. It is not solving another's problem, but helping him or her to solve their own problems. It is never a spoon feeding. I may share one thing with all of you. You know, both my children never used to come to me for studies. They used to go to their mom. Because, you know, somehow I believe personally, and another pedagogical tip is coming for all of you is, there are two strategies. There are two strategies to teach somebody anything. There are many methods. There are more than 100 methods, 120 methods. There are so many tactics. There are so many medias. But then there are only two strategies. One strategy is you expose the learner to the contents. Usually 90% of us do this in the classrooms, in the homes also. My son comes to me and he has a problem and I expose him to the contents in my own way. Yes, it is important. It has its own merits and demerits, of course. We call it expository strategies, exposing the student to the final content straight away without any hanky and panky. The second strategy is discovery. I do not give contents to the student or my son or my daughter. I make him or her discover the contents. Yes. And the golden rule in developing the cognitive abilities in the student is make the student think. When you are doing the expository, he is not thinking. He gets the thing in his plate. Are you with me? That's why both of them, they never used to come to me. So I'll keep on posing them more problems. He said, okay, Dad, you are giving us. They used to come to me, you know, at the last moment. कि भी अभी कोई solution नहीं मिल रहा है तो dad के पास जाना ही पड़ेगा. Because that's how many of my professors, my teachers in the school time, they taught us. And I still remember them. At that time, we were cursing them. Like my children, they used to curse me, but then today they really appreciate the way I used to teach them sometimes. Even in my classrooms also. I will very rarely expose you to the contents and all, but I will create your curiosity, give you some fundamentals, some exposition which is absolutely necessary, and then leave the house to the discover. Yes? It is not carrying another person's burden, but assisting him or her to carry and face their own problems. A Chinese very great, quote goes like this: you do not give fish to the hungry, teach him how to catch the fish. This is what the counseling and mentoring is about. If my coach do all the asanas, pranayams, and everything, then what's the need of my doing that? Yes or no? He will give me so much of, so much to discover in each asana, in each pranayam. I can share one example with all of you. I had only two ambitions. When I was young graduate from the college, I wanted to join army. And I went to Bangalore for two missions. Number one, I will have to travel by train. I never traveled by train. I mean, in Punjab, we never had a traveling by train. All distances were nearby. And then second was I will get an opportunity to join the army, SSB, Short Service Commission, SSC. I went to Bangalore, and I had a train ticket from Delhi to Madras, and from Madras I took a night bus which left me to Bangalore. That was the time. Anyway, don't worry about that part. In army, they really have certain parameters. Now I understand those parameters have been reduced little bit, not compromised though. There used to be, I did a very thorough research on that. I physically prepared very well, psychologically, intellectually, very well for the interview. And they take about 7 days to select a candidate. And in my batch, there were about 178 or 180, around 180 candidates, free travel, free stay, everything. You are treated like a officer. I'm talking about mentoring and counseling, not carrying another person's burden. Yes. And they give you group tasks. There are GTOs, group task officers. They will give you some problems, and you have to make your troops safely through the enemy's hurdles and all that. And then there are there are so many GTOs. There is one who is testing your intellectual capability and your psychological capabilities also. And then there is another GTO, and there are some hurdles in that also. They have score 1 for first hurdle physically. If you cross that, score 2 little tougher, you score 3, and there is a time limit. There is a time limit of, let us say, about 10 minutes, and how many hurdles you can cross, so you can keep on scoring. And if you score 100%, you can repeat any hurdle also. You can score more than 100. And then they take your physical test also, your chest expansion, your height, your weight, they have so many other parameters. And then there is a final, there is a psychological test also, and then there is a final conference also, where all the GTOs sit together and they take you interview. And in my batch, there were only 2 persons who were selected, and I was fortunate to be one of those 2. And in the GTO who was testing my physical, first of all, I'm not trying to boost, but I'm trying to give credit to my coaches, the people who really made me to achieve those things. I achieved 100% score, and then the toughest one was climbing on the rope. That was the last, having 10 scores. I did that also. But then many people were much tougher than me. But then that is not the criteria. They have 28 points you have to meet. They said, okay, you can be prime minister of the country, you can be the bureaucrat, you can be the best person, you can be a good doctor, but you do not fit in our army's setup. That is later on. Tomorrow, I think Sudhiti Jindal is going to come. She can tell you on Thursday. She's going to talk to you. Her father was one of the GTOs. Not that time. I was not knowing her. I came to know about her about 5 years back, only 6 years back. Then I came to know what is the system of their evaluation, because he is a retired Air Force officer, and he was one of the GTOs for the selection process also. When they were doing the physical measurements, their requirement was 3 centimeter expansion. आपकी जो chest है, when you breathe out and when you breathe in, it should expand. Minimum parameters are there, है ना? Then he measured my chest expansion. The GTO measured it again. Then he measured it again, because he knew that other scores also, my other scores in the other field. I said, something wrong, sir. He said, in my whole career as a GTO, I have never seen any person who has a chest expansion like this. And the credit for that doesn't go to me, please. That goes to Mr. N.N. Bogai, who gave me the pranayam exercises. You have a big chest, doesn't matter, but how much you can expand your lungs capacity, your capacity of the heart, your everything depends on your. Today we realize it very well. I'm talking about this is the 1984 की बात है, 83 की बात है ये वाली. What I'm trying to say is, do not carry another person's burden. I was not able to do many things, but then Mr. Bagai and my other coaches, my other teachers, my other mentors, they put me on the track. कि सुबह सुबह उठ के ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है. The class, yoga class used to start at 5 o'clock, even in the winters also. But me and Mr. Bagai used to be there at 4 o'clock. What we were doing? We were cleaning the floor, we were putting the mats, we were doing this, bathrooms ko saaf karna, ye karna. He said, "Ke Pramod, you cannot do asanas, pranayams, bandh, mudras, meditation unless you don't have that kind of love and affection for the people who are going to come at 5 o'clock. That kind of discipline, that kind of a thing." And Swami Dhyatmanand Ji Maharaj, from whom I learned certain things also, he used to say, I have attended some of his camp, he used to say that putting your head down and leg up is not yoga. When you remove your shoes outside, how you are moving it and how you are keeping it is more important than Shirsasana. Yes? Those are the people. This is what the counseling is teaching us. And again, Swami Dhyatmanand class used to start at 5 o'clock. At 3:30, we used to be at Sukhna Lake together. इससे के प्रमोद चंडीगढ़ में आए हैं तो फिर सुखना लेक पे तो जाना ही चाहिए. That's why I was trying to tell you also, you can visit Sukhna Lake. Anyway, going to the next one. It is not making decisions for others. It is helping them to arrive at their own, helping them. Not that I was not knowing the answers of the many problems which my kids had or my students have, but I wanted them to take decisions. And especially in the engineering profession, every design problem is number of decisions, choices of the materials, choices of the processes. There are so many alternatives. You have to take a decision to design in a particular way. Counseling requires a considerable amount of training, learning of skills, and an immense measure of self-restraint. You have a tendency कि मेरे को आता है यार इसको नहीं आ रहा बता देते हैं, इसको नहीं आ रहा करवा देते हैं. No. My first lesson as a swimmer, because in rowing, swimming is a prerequisite. And my first lesson on the swimming, I learned, in fact, swimming much before I went into the rowing. Mr. Negi was my coach, who was international gold medalist. Negi sab said, "Pramod, we have a pool here and we will do the swimming here, and this is how we go about it." This is Mr. N.N. Bhagai was also coach. He was a swimming coach, Mr. Negi, and Mr. Bhagai was yoga coach in the same premises. And Bhagai sab was in love with me, and I am still in love with him. He said, "Negi sab, leave it to me. I will teach him how to swim." He said, "I will teach him the first few lessons. Leave it to me. I will teach." He was excellent swimmer himself also, Mr. Bhagai. Because in swimming, as much as you put your head in the water, your body will float, and then your buoyancy of the body will be high, and you can go faster and faster. And he knew my capabilities. And on the first day, I was taken to the pool. I'm talking about 1978. I was scared to go in the water. फिर ऊपर 2 डाइविंग बोर्ड थे, एक छोटा वाला डाइविंग बोर्ड, एक हाइट के ऊपर था काफी, must be about 20 feet or little more than that even. Some standards are there in the. Mr. Bagai said, "I will teach," and he took me to the top of a board. First day, my first exposure to the swimming. I'm talking about hardcore physical training, hardcore physical teaching learning process की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग, counseling की बात कर रहे हैं, self restraint की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग. And he said, "Pramod, jump." I said, गुरुजी नहीं आती, डूब जाएंगे. He said कि man is made swimmer by God. Every animal is a swimmer. You don't have to learn the swimming. You have to learn how to drown. You are a swimmer, born swimmer. I mean, this is very comfortable. तो मैं आई वॉज ए गुड स्टूडेंट एनी वे, तो मैंने कहा यदि ये कह रहे हैं तो फिर आई विल नॉट डाउन, एंड आई जम्प्ड, एंड आफ्टर मी ही आल्सो जम्प्ड, एंड देन ही टोल्ड मी टू, he took me out holding my hair, and then he put me out, and then he gave me few tips and then said, okay, now you can go for the swimming. This is how it is. Self restraint. He knew things very well. And then Mr. Negi is an excellent coach again in swimming. We need to counsel our student. We must take the fear out of them. We must take the things which is prohibiting, which is inhibiting them to do certain things which they are capable of. Okay, इसको छोड़ देते हैं अपन. These are the red flags where you feel that immediately counseling is required. Suicidal thoughts, hopelessness, depression, extreme mood shifts, irrational behavior, lack of judgment, self-harm, odd behavior, speech patterns, poor personal hygiene, extreme change in sleeping, appetite, and weight. These are the things which we do not actually take care. But these are the red flags where your students require counseling, they require mentoring. If they are having any of these signs, family issues, relationship issues, social isolation, some student in the class is not talking to anyone, some problem is there. Excessive substance use, internet use, or gambling. All we do not know, in our class what people are doing. Let me share one very important, incident. When my son first time went to the hostel in Punjab, we are already confronting a lot of problem of the drugs in the colleges. Himachal also, J&K also, in many states. We do not know what kind of things are going on in the hostels. I was little apprehensive about it also. That first time he's going, he's a very docile boy, man with a very few words, unlike me. I just told him one thing, that you may or may not graduate. I am not really too much worried that you will get BTech degree or not BTech degree, but please, whatever you have learned from your family values, from your, whatever culture we are having home, do not indulge, do not get pressurized. Peer pressure, peer pressure. You understand the word peer pressure? Friends will tell me that if you are not smoking, you are not a man. If you are not drinking, you are not a man. This is the pressure. I am not enjoying my drink. I will enjoy my drink only when my best friend will drink with me. I say that my best friend will not drink, that then I will enjoy. Are you getting it? This is the kind of setup you have to have. And I told him that I just gave him some few tips in there. I said, okay, don't worry at all. I don't care. आपने बहुत मेहनत करी है. You had an open choice in the IIT. You will do well. And even if you don't well, I don't care. But then do not be under peer pressure. Take your own decisions. And when I went there first time, as I mentioned yesterday, there is a 1 week induction program of the students at that time, also 2006 ki baat hai, which was not mandatory from the AICT or any other people. And there was 1 day parents induction also. They have a very beautiful auditorium, and where all the parents who came to drop their wards, they were also called, and those students also first year student, and most of the faculty was sitting on the stage. Most of the faculty, especially HODs and the professors who are in charges of certain things, and some senior boys also. फर्स्ट सेकंड ईयर के, थर्ड ईयर के पोटेंशियल बाप्स, potential fathers of the mentors of the freshers. They were all sitting on the stage, and I am recalling one of the professors, what he said. It is really marvelous. Those words from 2006, almost 19 years now.
Yes, Amit.
So those words are still with me. He said, there are so many other beautiful speeches they gave. Professor Dande was the director. He gave a very beautiful speech. But this professor, he came on the stage and he said that, look here, my dear friends, to his students he was addressing. You are coming from a very protected culture, protected homes, where your parents were taking care of you, your teachers were taking care of you, your family was taking care of you. Even if you had taken a wrong decision, they will guide you, they will do it. But suddenly you will find here a lot of independence. Suddenly you will find that whether you go to the class or whether you don't do the class, your mom is not going to wake you up. Whether you do your tutorials, assignments, or you do not do, nobody is going to stop you. Whether you do this, whether you do that, whether you do this, whether you do that. And many times you will find yourself to be in a state of confusion also, whether I should do this or whether I shouldn't be doing this. On the one side, you feel that I shouldn't be doing this, but then you have a group of the friends and other things are going on in the hostel or in the campus. You will be exposed and you have to take the decisions. Then what he said, I am sharing that with all of you, is really remarkable. He said, okay, whenever you are in a state of confusion, I can give you a guru mantra how you can arrive at the. He said that when you are in that state of confusion, for a moment, 10 to 20 seconds, close your eyes and focus your mind towards the feet of your mother. We all have the tradition of touching the mother's feet. Yes. And then he said, can you close your eyes for a few seconds and take your mind to the picture, draw kar lijiye mother ki. And then you think about it, the issue you are confronting with, whether my mother will be happy or not happy if I do this or this way. He said that your mother will be right there to tell you what to do and what not to do. You're good enough. You're adults now. Anyway, you will be able to take decisions. But when there is a issue, there is something which is big things are happening. Things are very, very big for the students. We think that we are grown up now. We do not think that they are. उनके लिए बहुत बड़े-बड़े इशू होते हैं जो कि हमारे लिए बहुत छोटे-छोटे इशू हैं. The issues which we feel are very, very trivial, they are very, very big issues for the students. He said, okay, your mother will be there. And whenever you will find this thing and you will be able to take a good decision. I really, really appreciate that. And I have tried it a number of times, unknowingly, keeping my eyes closed when I was in Thapar. There were about 4 or 5 boys who used to drink, and there were about less than a dozen boys who used to smoke in the first year. In the final year, there were hardly 10 to 15 boys who were not drinking and smoking. This is the transformation. And I am so thankful to Mr. Bagai who has kept me away from all this. I have no credit for that. Red flags. We must notice this thing and then guide our students. Identity problems. The peer pressure comes when they are not having identity problems, identity conflicts. The students are confused. They try to identify themselves with some hero or somebody's hero, somebody like that. Okay, I will skip all these slides and let me come to those myths, and then we will go to the other uh, topic if the time. Mentoring as a concept is manage the relationship, encourage, nurture, teaches, offer mutual respect, respond to the mentees. ये एक्रोनम मैंने सोचा था इसके बारे में, आई लाइक टू शेयर विद ऑल ऑफ यू. ये सब चीजें डॉक्टर शिल्पा ने लार्जली कवर करी हुई हैं, सो आई एम जस्ट कीपिंग, डोंट वरी टू मच अबाउट इट. ट्रस्ट, कंटेक्ट, बिलीफ, बिल्ड एंड ग्रो. You also grow with the mentees. I am just skipping these things. Please do not mind it. These are the 4 zones: dead zone, comfort zone, panic zone, and then the stretch zone. From the pictures itself, you will be able to find out in what zone your student is, and you can have a transition of your student from dead zone or from comfort zone or from panic zone to the a little more, a little more. I was not able to stretch my chest on the first day. I was not able to do so many things. On the first day, I was not able to design things. My teachers who taught me the designing, they taught me so many things. डेड जोन से लेके कंफर्ट जोन में मैं खुश हूं इसमें. द स्टूडेंट्स आर वेरी हैप्पी विद दैट इज अ कंफर्ट जोन. Then panic zone is this is a zone of reactive adjustment, change in the behavior, and then you find that people are not very happy with me. I am not very happy with myself also for many things. But stretch zone is the place where you are actually learning how to grow. And mentoring is a smooth transition from one zone to. We must be very careful about it, aware about all these things. इसको छोड़ दीजिए सबको. ये सब चीजें डॉक्टर शिल्पा ने कल करवाई हैं आपको. कुछ और भी आगे भी आने वाली है. काउंसलिंग के ऊपर पूरा सेशन है आज आफ्टरनून में. दैट्स व्हाई आई एम लीविंग ऑल दिस थिंग्स. बट देन this is too theoretical. Yeah, I was coming to the myths. There are so many myths about mentoring. Some of them we have covered already, directly or indirectly. The first myth is mentoring is I have to do something. Both the people can learn from each other's strengths and believe me, how much I learned from my children, both the children, I have not taught them in my life. Believe me on this. A good mentor partnership is always a two-way relationship. When you start considering your child, how age is not a factor, as a friend and as your mentor, actual mentoring will start at that time. A mentoring relationship can only be face to. It is not. It's a myth only. It is always good, but then it is not always that you require to be face to face. So much so, if you recall the example I gave to you, mother is a mentor, and this professor said she will mentor you in your hostel to take the decisions. Yes or no? When you close your eyes, she will still mentor you. She's not face to face with many people. Many people are mentoring you. Third is, mentoring is a time consuming process. No. Mentoring is a partnership, and like any other relationship, it requires dedicated time. However, you can optimize your time together by agreeing on a set agenda, clear goals, level of confidentiality, and a meeting schedule. You don't have to separately, you are not a counselor. काउंसलिंग के लिए टाइम चाहिए होता है थोड़ा सा, बट मेंटरिंग के लिए it doesn't require that much of specific time allotted to it. While we were cleaning the yoga hall, so many things were discussed during that cleaning process. वो कुछ कुछ बोलते थे, मैं कुछ कुछ बोलता था. That when the mother is cooking food and the daughter is standing nearby, so much of conversation other than the recipe, other than the food itself, also takes place. But nowadays we do not have that kind of interaction with our students. That's the problem. We are too busy with us, and the students are too busy with themselves. But then we have to have time for that. Then the fourth myth is expectations are same for everyone. Same recipe doesn't work for every, for every dish. Every student is a different. Every student, every class, a particular way may work with somebody. Some other way will work with somebody. Then the fifth mentor must be बूढ़ा आदमी होना चाहिए. No, age is not a qualification or disqualification. Mentors should be chosen their understanding, skill, and capacity to share what they know based on mentors' own professional developmental needs. Then you need only one mentor at a time. We say, he is my mentor. No. We have the life is so complex. We require so many of mentors, and then mentoring relationship happens on their. No, it doesn't happen on their. One of the biggest hurdle is to personally match every mentor and mentee. He may be very good, but he is not my mentor. Yes, he may be very good, she may be very good in certain things, but मेरा उसके साथ relationship नहीं बैठ रहा, जम नहीं रहा हमारा. Then the eighth myth is the mentor owns and manages the partnership. The onus lies on mentors. No, it lies on both mentees and mentors. ये light blue color वाला पढ़िए. Both the mentee and mentor have a mutual commitment to build a partnership. It's like a partnership. Mentoring partnership are always a perfect match. Not all matches are perfect fit. It is responsibility of the mentee and mentor to communicate with each other if the relationship is not working. Initially, there can be some problem. Later on, also there can problem may come. But then slowly, gradually, we need to grow together. Mentoring partnership lasts lifelong. No, it is not. This is another myth also. He remains my mentor. No. The mentee and mentor may decide to continue or end the partnership at any stage. Mentoring is based on chemistry. वो थोड़ा सा ओवरलैपिंग है पिछली स्लाइड के साथ. Nowadays we use this word. An effective mentoring partnership is a relationship built on mutual respect, trust, and honesty. It is not chemistry, which we see in the movies, है ना. इस हीरो की हीरोइन से केमिस्ट्री है, फिर उसी की मूवीज हिट हो रही हैं. ऐसा नहीं है लाइफ के अंदर. Mentoring partnerships are always a perfect match. Not all matches are perfect. It is the responsibility of the mentee and mentor to communicate with each other if the relationship is not working well. Again, we have to understand this very well. Then mentorship is reserved for elite. सिर्फ बड़े लोगों की बातें हैं ये. Mentorship should be accessible to anyone committed to learning and growth. The person who wants to learn and grow, he or she needs a mentor and he can find a mentor. जिसने growth नहीं करना, वो dead zone में है या panic zone में है. I gave you concept of those zones. The person who is stretching, who is ready to stretch, who wants to increase the capacity of his lungs, the stretches and the other things, there is a mentorship for that person. Mentors have all the answers. This is a myth also. For all my questions, I go to a mentor. No. Ultimately, mentees need to learn how to solve their own challenges, and the mentor offers them perspectives and tools to do just that. He may not have the answer. Many times, I go to my teacher and ask him, "Ki sir, aisa nahi, aisa karke." He said, "Ki Pramod, I don't have the answer for this." Let us try to learn. Let us try to learn, and we will try to explore this together. A good teacher will always be open to that, and do not feel shy in saying so with your mentees, with your students. Then mentorship is only for a career advancement. मेरे को तो चीफ इंजीनियर बनना है, मेरे को तो डॉक्टर बनना है, मेरे को तो ये बनना है, मेरे को वो बनना है. It is, I require a mentor for that. I want to be a gold medalist in rowing. I want to be, like this. No. Mentor provides holistic support, helping mentees develop personally, professionally, and emotionally. These are very important things. We must understand this very well, very well. And believe me, all of you are playing the role of a mentor as teachers in your classrooms. Mentees must follow mentors' advice unquestionably. This is another myth. Effective mentorship foster open dialogue. I think ऐसा होना चाहिए. Let us try to have an open dialogue on. Let us discuss. सुखना लेक के ऊपर सैर करके आएंगे, आज फिर बात करेंगे इसके ऊपर. I told you, my son and father and daughter and father talks are always on the Sukhna Lake bank के ऊपर 2.5 किलोमीटर की सैर है. Many problems in the life I have learned through them. I thought that I will be sharing this thing and teach them this thing, but I come back learning from them many times in that open dialogue. Mentees must follow mentors' advice unquestionably. I am tempted to share one anecdote here also. When my daughter was in third year at BITS Plani, third year or fourth year में थी वो. They had in Plani they have a practice school 1 and practice school 2, which is very unique in India. No other engineering college have the practice school concept. We have the internship, we have the projects, we have the industrial training and so many other things, but they have the practice school 1 and practice school 2, where the teachers also accompany the student to the industry and they are also learning, and they have the weekly group discussion, the structured everyday things they have to write down, and there is a presentations, weekly presentations. And my daughter went to Goa. उसके लिए गोवा बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट था कि गोवा जाना है हमारे को, सभी अच्छे बच्चे जा रहे हैं गोवा. तो I said okay, whatever you want to decide. And she was there with the other students, and the teacher was also there. And then one evening I received a call from her, "Dad, today we are leaving the hostel and we are going for the clubbing. All my group mates, in those students, they have a good small group, they are going for clubbing." This was a new terminology for me. I didn't know what clubbing is. I asked her के Mehak, what is clubbing? Then she said कि पापा वहाँ पे जाते हैं हम लोग, क्लब्स होते हैं वहाँ पे, ये होता है वो होता है ये होता है. Then she tried to explain me. I said कि if you want to go you can go, but if you are taking my permission, I am not giving you permission. You remember for what mission you are there, and you have been going to the trekking. She's a great tracker. उसने अभी वो she's in Europe, तो उसने यूरोप की कोई एल्प्स नहीं छोड़ा जहाँ पे वो उसने ट्रैकिंग नहीं करी हुई है. तो गोवा में she did. I never stopped you for that, but then you not seek my permission on this. If you want to go, you can go. Then she said कि Papa, I am asking you, many of my classmates have not even talked to their parents. I said कि you made a mistake. You should not have called me. अभी भी मैं कुछ नहीं सुना. Go and do it. Bang on. And then next day morning said कि Papa, I didn't go. My advice was go, whatever you want to do, do. But then take your decision, not your peers' decision should be enforced on you. You get the point or no? Effective mentorship fosters. We had a, I mean, I tried to tell you in a very dramatic way, just in 2 3 minutes, but this was long discussions. And the uska jo nichod, the essence was this only, that you made a mistake. Next time when you decide to do something which you know your dad doesn't like it, do not call me. And if you, I mean, now she's in Europe. She went all alone to Europe in winters in a country where there was no language. And because she learned the art of discovering, she was able to manage herself in that environment. She's teetotaler and her husband is a teetotaler and they are pure vegetarians. I'm not saying that vegetarian food is bad. I am not saying that the drinks are bad. But I'm saying that I had the trust and then she never betrayed that. And there are so many things which she'll tell me, Dad, you are outdated. ये घड़ी पहनो आप, कल को आपको outdated हो जाएंगे बिल्कुल. You won't be able to manage your office without this. I was not ready for the mobile phones and all. There's so many things that this generation has positive things in them. Open dialogue is very important. Have it great discussions, bitter discussions, healthy discussions, positive discussions, negative discussions. Do not give them the answers. Let them let them burn their hand once. As long as they are not hospitalized. When you know that it's going to be hospitalized, then I jump in. Because my coach also jumped with me from the swimming board. Yes? He knew that I don't want him to die in the water. But he wanted to remove the fear and everything, which he did that. Then you cannot be both a mentor and a mentee at the. This is a myth. You can be mentor and you can also be mentee at the same time. Peer mentoring happens when both parties are learning and helping from each other. Mentoring leads to instant results. No. It doesn't lead. It may, but mostly it doesn't lead to instant results. हम लोग कहते हैं कि आज कर लिया, कल कर लिया, ऐसा कर लिया. No, it took me 2 years time to get the first medal at the state level. Yes, 2 year rigorous from 4 o'clock to almost 7 o'clock. After everybody's left, again me and Bugaisa was in the hall to roll up the mats and do everything. Mentoring requires time and effort on both sides of the relationship. Then mentors dictate the relationship. No. Both the mentor and mentee should always be open to the feedback and willing to share their own experiences. Mentors should also be willing to share their own mistakes, success and knowledge. I am too old for a mentor. You are never too old. I keep learning. Some of the best companies I have is the older people in the families. I go to my friend's home. I spend less time with him. I said के uncle कहाँ पे हैं? मेरी चाय उनके साथ ही बैठ के पिएंगे. I mean, they are the house of experiences, learning. Okay. I am too old for a retired person, for the mid-career, for different. I mean, you keep learning. You can be mentee at a very old age also. Yesterday, I mentioned it to you. My dad still keeps a dictionary. And he was struggling to work on this smartphone because he didn't have any knowledge about the computers and all. There are so many functions which are similar to your laptop and all. He was struggling, but then I gave up at one time teaching him. Then my sister was cursing me. She calls him from Chicago. She lives in Chicago. That डैड को ये करना सिखाओ, ये करना सिखाओ. मैं कहा नेक्स्ट टाइम व्हेन यू कम टू इंडिया यू ट्राई टू टीच, आई एम फेल्ड. उनको ये नहीं आता, वो बड़ी जोर से ऐसे करते हैं, वापस आना के करना. बट देन डैड वाज डिटरमिन्ड. At 92, when he got his first mobile phone, he was very excited about it. He said, I want to have a good mobile phone and promote. तुम सारा दिन ऐसे करते रहते हो, तुम लोग इतनी काम करते हो. I can talk to my daughter like this. And today he is able to. Okay. Well, friends, 3 principles: synergy, relationship, uniqueness. There are so many other things which I will not like to go at the moment, but I like to close this presentation here. I thought that I must share some of the very important things about mentoring which I left yesterday. Before we go for the tea break, let me put a base foundation. I'm a civil engineer. Foundation for the session on ethics and values, which we'll try to cover some other time. Yes, the base is that our decisions in the life should be based on the values, not personal petty gains. Those personal petty gains will naturally be met with if you are able to take your decisions on the values, on certain values. I am going to share 1 or 2 videos with all of you before we go for the tea break. Yes, this is a video. Somehow we feel that a person who has won a medal is the successful person. The person who is second to the gold medal is a loser, but it is not like that. And in the race of winning, in the race of having highest package, in the race of highest position in your organization, as a director, as a principal, as a chairman, as a so and so, we sacrifice so many values. And a day comes, we start hating ourselves without knowing that I am hating myself. We try to please ourselves with so many things. I am not against reaching the highest positions. I am not saying that you should not inspire to do that. What I am saying is keep the values in your mind. If you all allow me, may I share 1 video with all of you? A slight delay in the tea break. This is a gymnast coach.
I am the recently retired head coach of the UCLA women's gymnastics team, a position that I held for 29 years. Thank you. And during my tenure, I experienced a lot of winning. I led our team to 7 national championships. I was inducted into the UCLA Athletic Hall of Fame, and I was even voted the coach of the century by the Pac-12 Conference. Winning is really, really fun. But I am here to share my insight. Winning does not always equal success. All across America and around the world, we have a crisis in the win-at-all-cost cultures that we have created in our schools, in our businesses, in politics. Winning at all costs has become acceptable. As a society, we honor the people at the top of the pyramid. We effusively applaud those people who win championships and elections and awards. But sadly, quite often, those same people are leaving their institutions as damaged human beings. Sadly, with straight A's, kids are leaving school damaged. With awards and medals, athletes often leave their teams damaged, emotionally, mentally, not just physically. And with huge profits, employees often leave their companies damaged. We have become so hyper-focused on that end result, and when the end result is a win, the human component of how we got there often gets swept under the proverbial rug, and so does the damage. So, I'm calling for a timeout. Timeout. We need to redefine success. Real success is developing champions in life for our world, win or lose. As parents, as coaches, as leaders, we can no longer lead from a place where winning is our only metric of success, where our ego sits center stage, because it has been proven that that process produces broken human beings. And I emphatically know that it is absolutely possible to produce and train champions in life in every single walk of life without compromising the human spirit.
I hope you got the message. Winning and losing is not important. Your graduation or not graduating is not very important for me. Come without drugs. As parents, you must be able to appreciate what I'm trying to say here. When your son or your daughter goes to a hostel, there's so many insecurities you feel that they may not be doing. And at that time, at that particular moment, for 2 years, my son was preparing for IIT, rather for 4 years, from ninth onwards. He was preparing. And when he went there, my only thing which I told him was, I do not require your degree. You may come empty-handed, without degree, but do not come with a degree of indulging into substances which can be harmful to you. That was more important than IIT certificate. Are you getting my point, what I'm trying to say here? We may not, how we achieve that is very important. Some other time I'll try to talk to you maybe in more details. A 3 minutes silent movie, and then we will go for the tea break, okay? This is about the ethics and values. Please, this video is in some other language. It is in German language, but there are footnotes, subtitles in English. Read them very carefully to understand this video. Read them very carefully, or you will not understand this video. This video has won many Oscar awards. A few seconds only. I'm talking about ethics and values right now. Since I do not have so much of time, I'm taking help of the video so that we can save time and understand. Isn't it so beautiful? Actual giving is when you need it yourself and you give. When you have ample of things, I will donate, I will do charity only when I have so much. That is not a charity at all. Charity is when you yourself need that thing most and you give it to the other person. That is the way.